way to make certain pieces of text stand out. So what we're going to do in here is I'm going to click on the first part here, the P for paragraph, and we are going to click on insert. Going to change this to HTML, and then we'll notice we've got heading. Now next to the heading there is a drop down menu, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 6, and these are basically different heading styles. The smaller the number, the larger the text. So let's say for argument's sake we're going to put H3 in here. If I click on that one there, what this is going to do is it's going to ask me, do I want it before, after, wrap, or nest? Well, I actually want it before this, so it sits in top, or on top rather. So as you can see, it's pushed the text down ever so slightly, and it's added this H tag in. So what we can do then is type some words. So this might be like, you know, a welcome, an introduction, or I'm just going to use discover. So all I've done is type the word discover. And then if you click, I will do the same thing again. Click on H3. We're going to put this before. Again, it's put it within the same container, but it's just moved it up there. And as you can see, we're just putting things in. Now, one thing I will warn you is that we need to make sure that whatever H you use on the page, whatever heading style, be consistent. So if you start with H3, please make sure you use that then consistently throughout, because you don't want to be swapping and changing. So okay, now one thing to note, if you did want to change the heading style, let's say for argument's sake you highlight this piece of text, on the bottom here, provided you've got the properties turned on, you can change the style there. So if we went up to H2, you can see now that's made it ever so slightly bigger. Let's go to H1 and it's gone bigger again. Let's go the other way and it's going down to H4. So again, that's smaller. 5 is smaller again. 6 then is obviously very small. Now you do have some control over this as well. So when you highlight the text, if you click on the 3 dots next to it, you will notice that there is an option here, and you can bold things a little bit more, and you can also center some of them. You can also transform them by capitalizing or capitalizing each start of the word like you can normally do in a paragraph. You can also make them into hyperlinks as well, should you wish to. So if you wanted to make them into hyperlinks, the only thing is please be consistent when you are using heading style. So as you can see now, I've put that one in the center. Let's do the same for this one. And then let's do one more over here. Click on the 3 things and let's move it over. So now we've got the heading styles. Now these act in the same way as all the other containers and so forth. So if we wanted to add in a color, let's say for argument's sake I want to do VG dash, let's do let's just do one light color here. Now let's put a light gray on. Let's put a slightly different one, .bg dash. Let's do dark. You can see now that has come in there now with a really dark black. And if I highlight the text, go down to the CSS tab at the bottom, you can see I can change the font color at the top. So let's say, for example, now we go up for like this white. If I click off it, what you'll see then is that will obviously then interact there. Now, obviously, you don't have to change the color of these. If I just undo all this to put it back to what it once was, ooh, let's redo. There you are. So that there now is quite nice, and we don't need anything more in there. Now, when you've done these, obviously make sure you save everything, and you can put these heading styles on pretty much anything you want. Just make sure they stand out, because obviously they are a little bit bigger and they are then easier to read as well. If you wanted a little bit more control over some of these fonts as well, you can change some of the CSS settings at the bottom. So you can see now this font weight is currently set to 500. If you change this font weight to say 900, what will happen is that font there becomes heavier, right? So there's basically more to it. So if you compare these two here now, just as an example, you can see they are ever so slightly different. And likewise, if I highlight that, and let's just change that one now, I'm going to put 1200 in just to show you the difference. Now again, for some reason that didn't change, but you can see what it's done with the other one. Let's just go down to 900. There we are. So it's come up there now. So you can see you can get this to stand out a little bit more as well. The reason why this only applied to this one and not the others was because I added in this text capitalization there. All right. So just be a bit careful with these when you are adding them out. There is no need to sort of make it stand out even more. I'm just showing you this as a little extra if you wanted to make a bit of a custom style there. Now, one thing to note, when you do change stuff like this, there is a CSS file right at the top here, which can get a little bit upset when you change things. Now, when you read on the internet, it'll basically say, oh, if you want to make your own CSS file, you can. I'm not going to in here. What I've done, I've made this writable. So what happens is, I've already done it on mine. You'll have a warning coming up here, and it'll say make writable. Click on make writable, and then it'll save that style throughout the site. The reason for this is, if you click back on source code here, the reason for this is I might want to make one style which is used throughout the site. So essentially, when I edit this here, it'll then apply to every other effect there. And that's kind of what I want to do. So that's how you apply headings and heading styles into your work.